have to. Let's see it.
And speaking of play right now, let's get ready to swing things over to MLB Upper Deck right now. And a lot of teams who have definitely missed a significant amount of time, more particularly, are the St. Louis Cardinals. They're the team who right now has played 5 games. I mean, yes, the Marlins, as crazy as it is right now, they're in first place in their own East Division in baseball. I mean, this is like one of the teams who started having that positive testing. They're 9-4 right now, up 2 games on the Atlanta Braves in the NL East. But they got the Cardinals right now, like I said, who played the less significant amount of games, and they got to play 55 games they got to try and make up for in a 44-day a lot of time. I don't know about you, Riis, but if I had one solution, I was pitching this earlier in the week, and this would be my thought. If I was a commissioner, you would have done this a lot more properly. I would have thought about, in case you ran into a situation where you're going to play the season on, and there's not going to be teams who are going to probably run situations where you test positive, you're probably not going to make up all the games. Hey, you got the win percentage. Why not do something where you create a COVID division, a COVID-19 division, just in case you run into teams that are struggling, and then in situations like the Cardinals who got 5 games, this is what I would do. Well, instead of doing all these double headers right now, what they got coming up, I mean, right now they're playing one against the White Sox, and they got a pair of double headers coming up. Why not just do a situation just for this one moment, just for a couple of series? Why not just do like 6 games? So if you win a game, it counts for double. So 1 win equals 2 victories to kind of help add up in the win-loss column, the makeup games.
I definitely can see that can be an idea, like towards the end. But sometimes I remember the Cubs, right after they won the World Series, they had a stretch where they had like something similar to what you said, and they kind of for they had to play a lot of games on short rest. So I can't say it was the team an opportunity to put in new players, and so with the double headers, and they have 7. So if you have a double header, it's 7.
Folks, in case for those of you who are tuning into us, we're having a little bit of difficulty with the sound. Please bear with us.
Aspect, but I can definitely see towards the end, maybe.
Riis, you're still cutting in and out a little bit badly here and there. Just please bear with us. Folks, in case those of you who are trying to tune in and watch the show, we're having some audio difficulties for whatever reason. Some sort of connection issue going on. We will try and get this fixed going forward. But just trying to hang in there, Riis. But, yeah, I think he has to consider this. I just think it was just bad planning by the commissioner right there. I just saw my guy right there. He had to take absence. I think he's going to try and rejoin. We shall see. But I think that's what you need to do, because the Cardinals right now, I mean, it's kind of like unfair to say, like, how much closer they will be towards, like, Chicago Cubs. Right now, you got a team like the Chicago Cubs right now who are doing pretty dandy in their situation right now. I mean, doing well in pitching, tied first in pitching wins with the Yankees, 6 in the ERA with 3.88. Tied 4th for saves, believe it or not. This is one where they're probably doing a closer by committee where they got 5 for the year. The only concern, I think, is like their batting, which is probably like about middle of the pack right now. They're 16th in batting average, 17th in home runs with 23, and 18th in RBIs with 81. I think, if anything, on the batting side, those would be the areas I like to see them improve on. But I think for the Chicago Cubs right now, what they are proving to do right now, and to Dave Ross's credit, I mean, they're playing some good, sound quality defense. And I would think that the Chicago Cubs, with this universal DH, they'd be one of the teams that be spiking the batting average. And, I mean, they lost a close game last night, but still, I mean, the Cubs right now, I mean, it's a very intriguing thing to watch right now. I mean, when you look at the other side of town, I mean, they've beaten some top teams along the way, including World Series rematch
Because
earlier
we are
this
a
week
top
against the
team.
Indians.
The Cubs are a top team. You remember when I first started this? You remember I
Yep.
told you, man, that my Cubbies is going to be – told you that they're going to be dangerous. I said that they're going to be dangerous with allowing us to have a DH. Oh, no, you allowing a young team to, get in the mix. If I'm not mistaken, the White Sox, they caught a little fire up underneath them. So it's good. We're alive in Chicago, everybody.
But the only problem is with that, I think their batting, give it a little bit more time. It's going to heat up. Their pitching is doing it. I mean, that's one of the things right now. Like, if you got to be encouraged, I mean, think about this for a second. About a couple weeks ago, you look at this bullpen. I mean, they've been having some rotational struggles, like in their bullpen, like late in games, more particularly with the closing position right now. Craig Kimbrell, I mean, he's starting to remind me of like the guy from like Wild Thing from the movies, and like
You
one
make
club,
my heart sing.
yeah, who played for like the not the Raptors, the Blue Jays in Toronto. It was the Chicago Cubs in the late '80s, but Ross has done a good job managing this pitching rotation for a reason. Yu Darvish, who's been a little adamant about coming back. I mean, he's got a pair of victories right now. One of his best starts with the Chicago Cubs in the Cubs uniform since coming to this team. Seems to finally be getting in rhythm right now. Ross has made some good. Him and his pitching staff, his pitching coach assistants, are doing a good job managing like these quality starts right now. I mean, it's no secret. You're tied with the Yankees for most wins in pitching. That's a big thing right there when you're trying to become a championship team. Aside from your offense, I mean, that's pretty much like a good defense in baseball.
For sure. That's one thing that I always said. The Cubs blow a lot of late game leads. Like you said, we didn't have any relievers, and closers was an issue after losing Chapman in the World Series, after the World Series to the Yankees. So I think that's really been the back half of our pitching has really been hurting. But the Cubs have been putting up crazy numbers, right now. So that actually, giving the pitchers them early leads, I think always boosts their confidence. Letting the pitcher know we got you. We putting points up, so you can bring a couple of different things out the repertoire. Maybe throw a pitch that you wouldn't throw if you was down some, but it allows pitchers to see their pitches in different aspects.
Yeah, I definitely feel like right now seeing their pitchers in different aspects right now,
and build
as
them
we look at
confidence
it.
because they know that they have a young. That's what I think. I told you, pitching is key for us. We got the hits. We got the defense. Pitching is key. If we can just, get our pitching with some points up. So if you allow us to hurry up and get a lot of 3 and outs and all that, and 3 outs, and then I.
Well, I mean, you got Kyle Hendricks returning back to form. I mean, he's right there with 3-1, 3-1 to be exact with Yu Darvish right there, 2-1 with Alex Mills. Lester's been perfect so far. He's got a perfect 2-0 win-loss record. As far as the ERA is concerned, believe it or not, as far as you're starting, you got John Lester and Yu Darvish coming in second on that rotation. I mean, for the time being. So that's where we stand at right now. I mean, David Ross right now, what do you think for the time being? Rookie of the Year, manager candidate for right now, David Ross?
For sure, yeah. Like you said, they're one of the league's best right now. He's definitely first year come in there and at this team because everyone counted us out. So that's one thing. You got these players playing loose, playing young, scoring. Defense is crazy. Pitching is up to par. I guess you can say with being a catcher. So I guess hiring a catcher so he can really understand the pitching, playing against these guys. Remember, he isn't too far removed from MLB. So to be like, I've seen these guys pitch and this and this and this, and he can understand. Now guys will look at him more of a skipper role than as a player role. Like, how a player can come to you if your friend tell you something, you be like, okay, but if a manager tells you something, be like, okay, you know what? I can listen to, hey, you know what? So he can tell you how to pitch. And so I think him being a catcher player coming into the game definitely elevate our pitching.
And which player were you talking about again? I'm sorry.
The David Ross, our manager. I said with him not being too far removed from playing, he actually can give the pitchers an aspect, knowing that he caught a lot of balls from pitchers in his glove. I think you look at it differently.
All right, let's get ready to go wrap up our segment for the week. Step up to the plate moment. Who you got this week, Reis, in all sports as we look to move forward?
Memphis Grizzlies. You came in the league with a 5 or 6 wins up. I don't know if I put you on blast last week, but I'm sure I did. Tonight's the night. You at one point had to win 1 game. Now you got to win 2. You had a measly record of 2. Step up to the plate.
If I'm going to look at one person to be stepping up to the plate, I'm definitely looking at Anthony Davis right now. Anthony Davis, I think this is the time right now for him and his career right now, especially with the Lakers right now. I mean, who've been a little bit funky, and I've paid you a little compliment last week. I put on my media. I don't know if you got a chance to see it, but I do believe right now, since you did mention the point that they are on neutral court right now, pretty much most teams. If I'm Frank Vogel, I mean, this last week and a half, I would have just been resting my star guys. I feel like it was just a waste of time right now. When you got the number 1 seed in the West, you're not going to you're not going to be home court throughout that. But LeBron James is 35 years old. You got a guy like Anthony Davis who's had some minor injuries, I mean, throughout the season. Like, he's been able to gut up. Let the bench do more of the work. I mean, if anything, those guys I'm looking to like really kind of like give me like a little bit more confidence, because still did okay with Kuzma and guys like that. I mean, Dwight Howard is probably like another one right now. He's got second.
You want to build a
What's that?
So you want to build
Reis? I need you to repeat. So, Reis? All right, guys, we're experiencing some bad technical issues right now for a reason. We're going to just go ahead and just call this to a close. Once again, I'm Charles Prodigy Richey. That's Reis Ruler. You can follow my partner in crime, Reis Ruler. You can follow him on Facebook at Kimosabi. And then you can follow him on Twitter and Instagram at ISCR3 with another boat. That's ISCR3, WINUTIBOLT. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Prodigy Richey. And for the show on Twitter and IG at OnDeckCSR, you can catch me throughout the week on the Metal Steel Podcast. Metal Steel Podcast on Twitter is at Metal Steel CGR and at Metal Steel Nation on Instagram. As we always
I have to. Let's see it.